The other McDohl.
Boobs.
Oh my God, there he is.
Ew,
That's him. That classic McDohl phrase.
All right. And with those boobs, I will go ahead and remove Elizagirth from the screen here. And
If you cut that treble, I will be severely disappointed.
the big boys are tromping after you. It's going to bring us back to the top of the order with Birdie.
Big boys, big boys.
Yes, I'm going to do something that's incredibly meaningful and will impact the fight greatly. That's a lie, by the way.
You're gonna run?
No, I'm going to shoot an arrow. And then run. In that order.
Okay.
So we're going to roll at disadvantage.
Ooh.
Well, will a 22 hit?
22 will hit.
All right.
Which one are you shooting?
This one.
Okay.
Nearer of the two.
All right. Oh, that's the wrong button. So that is... That's 10 magical piercing.
Okay. And this one does not die after 10 damage.
Well, I tried. Bye.
It's going to bring us to Windy.
All right. This seems like a beefier challenge than our last one, so I am going to run my hand along my bowstring to charge it up with that special monk magic. And then I'm going to take a nice couple shots at this one. Am I within 60 to 20? Yeah.
The magic of key.
12.
The magic of key. I believe it's called. I'm going to take a couple of sharpshooter shots.
Okay.
These squares are 1-to-1, so it's pretty easy to gauge distances.
That is a 18 to hit.
18. He parries the attack with his spear.
And a 24 to hit.
24 will hit.
4.
Oh no, they're battle masters. They're learning from Adrex.
19 magical piercing.
Okay, let me get calc.exe.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 23. I forgot I used my bow.
I'm reminded
22.
of those things in Final Fantasy X too.
Yeah, the first arrow he knocks out of the air with his spear. The second one pierces into one of the metal plates of his armor. Moving or staying put?
I'm good here.
Okay, it's going to bring us to Adrex.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. How you doing?
It's your turn. We're all waiting on you.
I know. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to move again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I do that?
You dash.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm good.
Is that the end of Adrex's turn?
Yes, it is. That's the end of Adrex's turn.
Okay. It's going to bring us to Red.
$30 gets me there. Let's go ahead and give Windy advantage on our next attack against this one.
Okay.
And then let's take a shot with the bow.
Can't get that bowstring to work for you.
Save the bowstring.
Another 2 blips.
I think it's our last bowstring too.
That'll hit an armor class of 23.
That'll hit.
Don't think I'd ever rolled a 1 with this thing before today.
The thing is,
You get them all out of the way now while you have blips.
Yep. That'll deal a total of +1 bow, 12 magical piercing damage.
Okay.
That's the end of Red's turn.
And it's going to bring us to Raazu.
Raazu plucks a small bead off of the bracelet that she has in her hand, and says, "Well, let's see if the Yuan-ti tricks work." Throws the bead at this thing, and I need it to make a DC 15 Dexterity save, please.
Dexterity?
Yep.
He is
Do you think dexterity is its thing?
proficient at this.
A reflex save?
8 on that save.
Okay, so It is, it's going to take 5d4 force damage.
Okay.
And for the 10-foot radius sphere, will that encompass it completely? I'm sorry, yep. So, yeah. I need another d4, hang on.
Another defer.
Yep, that's going to be 10 force damage, and it is bubbled by a wall of force.
Bubbled by a wall of force.
I'm not familiar with the bubble status.
It doubles his HP.
Yeah, doubles his hit points.
So Ozaluk's super resilient.
It is stuck in there for 10 or for 10 rounds, 1 minute. And it can use its action to push against the sphere and roll up to half of its normal speed.
That's
That sounds horrible.
Also, it only weighs 1 pound right now, so you can just pick it up, hold it over your head like it's nothing.
Oh, I wish we had the catapult spell.
Raazu, you moving or staying put?
Well, it's only my action, so yeah, I guess I'll 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, and that'll end my turn.
So it can just roll over you then, right?
Half its movement.
It'll hit him like it weighs a pound. Yeah.
It only weighs a pound. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think a pound of force is gonna roll over me.
I just
half its movement speed.
Half its movement speed.
There's a giant death machine in a hamster ball, and I can't right now.
Well, Adrex, this one dashes at you and rolls and kind of bounces off of you.
Adrex giggles.
Raazu, this one lowers its spear and charges directly at you.
Sure.
Nope. Oh! Sorry, I dropped my dice. The first one was a hit. Let's see if I can go for that sweet, sweet crit. I cannot.
Oh, it's raining.
It's going to be a 20 to hit.
That'll hit. Yeah, that'll hit.
Alright, the charge attack. .24 piercing damage as the thing crashes into you with its spear with its immense weight, and then it gets its second attack against you.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, it gets 3 melee attacks, not 2. Fun fact, this is the stat block that killed Adric in the first game.
Is it really?
Well, I also gave it a fly speed, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's not going to hit. 14?
Nope.
And an 18.
Nope.
So after the initial crash, it tries to jab twice more with its spear, and you manage to block both blows aside. Adrix, this one tried to do the same thing to you, but the bubble bounces off of you ineffectively, and then it just kind of crashes against the inside with its spear multiple times, making no progress.
Adrix giggles, but is also confused.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this... Oh, you know what? It's going to put a 10 on that.
It's going to be Birdie.
Okay.
I will decrement that at the end of every one of my turns.
Alright, I'm going to move here, and I have a mechanics question for you.
Yeah.
How much damage would 5 times 8, 40 cubic feet of snow do if I just dropped it on top of this guy in a linked 5 foot, in linked squares?
Probably none.
None? No. Darn. Okay, so then I'll just shoot it with my bow.
It is just snow.
It's pretty much already covered in snow because it's been lightly snowing this whole time.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, I was gonna see if I have a scroll of fabricate, and I was going to. It says you can make whatever, and I was gonna say snow, and then drop the snow in bricks on top of the guy, so it would be densely packed. But whatever, that's fine.
Listen, I've lived in Florida all my life,
Right.
so I've never actually been hit by a snowball.
Well, consider packed snow weighs something like a cubic foot of snow weighs like 20 pounds.
Icicle.
Yeah, this is a 15-foot tall man made entirely out of metal. I think he's fine.
Right.
I think a snow brick would just...
A small child could fall on him.
Well, it wouldn't be a snow brick. It would be
I'm ruling against your snow idea. What are you doing?
right. All right. That would be 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
It's no good trouble.
Yeah, I know.
I got it.
That's
I was ignoring it. You acknowledged it, and
He
now
didn't get it. He
Oh,
didn't get
Raazu,
it.
did you bubble the damaged one or the undamaged one? I wasn't paying attention.
the damaged
The
one.
damaged
Because it was
one.
the only one with
Ah,
that was
gotcha.
the only one
Okay,
in reach.
So
So,
you're
yeah.
shooting the undamaged one then. Okay.
right, that would be 7 whole points of magical piercing damage.
All right. That's 7 more than I did with my bubbled man. Moving or staying put?
I'm going to cunning action to dash and kind of stand over here because I don't want to stand right behind in a line in case.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Windy.
All right, I'm going to let off a couple more sharpshooter shots at it.
Okay.
This is not the one that you gave me bonus on,
No.
right?
That one's
Correct.
bubbled.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, but I had to take the opportunity.
Well,
Ooh.
that's fair.
It evens out. It's all good.
Yeah.
For 18 magical piercing.
That's the total of 2 shots.
That's the total of 2 shots because 1 missed and 1 crit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it's just 1 shot.
And then
18.
I'm going to step up and flurry of blows.
Okay.
And that's a better roll. That's a 20 to hit
That'll hit.
and a 27.
Also hit.
For 14 magical bludgeoning and a constitution saving throw.
They're pretty good at these. 18.
Another one, please.
17.
Give me 1 second. I think that might actually be my DC. Sorry, at some point I apparently went away from my character sheet. Oh, I see, because I'm on the Fantasy Grounds Kickstarter.
Don't be there.
No, it's the wrong place.
That's on the character sheet.
You need to go to www.windy'scharactersheet.com.
Oh, right. It is... DC save is 17. He rolled a 17?
He got right on the button, 17.
Ah, damn. Never mind.
Okay.
I tried.
Yeah, no, it was valiant
It was
effort.
close. Moving or staying put?
I'm good here.
Adrex, you got Bubble Boy on top of you here. And then what?
I'm sorry, I've got a lot of questions. When you say bubble,
Mhm.
like, is he literally like in a rounded wall of force, and it's just kind of
Yes.
like he's like
He's in a giant
spinning?
hamster ball.
He is in a giant hamster ball. Okay. I can move around him, right? So here's what I'm thinking. I just want Adrex to shove him as hard as he can.
He weighs a pound, so...
He weighs
Yeah.
1 pound.
Where does it say he weighs 1 pound?
It's if you look in the beat of force on the wondrous items.
okay.
Let's see here.
I'm not going to stand up to get my BMG, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, it
That's
says
your
an
bead,
enclosed
manual
creature
guide.
can use its action to put a sphere, blah, 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 blah. A sphere can only be picked up, and its magic causes it to only weigh 1 pound, regardless of the weight of the creatures inside.
Okay. So, yeah, this thing weighs 1 pound, which is why it didn't do any damage on impact.
Can I just shove it as hard as I can, like, away from us?
It's just gonna run back.
I'm just imagining like a field goal kick.
Yeah, I'll let you kick it away from you.
Okay. What do you want me to roll?
Strength athletics.
Alright, cool.
We're going to call it DC 10. Everything you get above 10 will be 10 feet. I just made that rule up.
No, I'm spending blips on that, because that's nonsense.
Oh, no! Adrex, how?
It weighs 1 pound, Adrex!
No, I'm spending 2 more blips, because I don't want this. I don't want this. No, that's so much better.
All right,
That's 28.
28. So you kick him 180 feet away. He goes flying through the air.
I think that looks like Adrex running forward, tripping, bouncing off a rock, and kicking it with his at the perfect angle.
Well, the thing is, a football just sits there. This guy's actually rolling around.
It's a soccer ball.
Yeah, you kick him 180 feet away.
All right.
Moving or staying put?
I'm staying put. Because I burned 4 fucking blips to do that.
Red.
Yeah.
You're up.
I have to find the hag that cursed me.
I'm telling you, man, play a halfling.
Just duel her to the death.
Just go ahead and take another shot.
Okay.
That'll hit an armor class of 29.
That does hit.
For 31 magical piercing damage.
And it is bloodied.
Raazu gets advantage on her next attack against it as a bonus action, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay, it's going to bring us to Raazu's turn.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and whip this thing. That is... oh, I get advantage at that. Yes, of course. It's not a crit, but I did roll a... Oh, why can I not math? 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
Yeah, let's put some stank on that. This seems like a good place to put some stank. Let's see, get the D4,
Everyone loves your
D6.
stank.
Of course. Let's see, ED8. Third level, I'm assuming it's not undead
It is not.
or a fiend.
Not,
So yeah.
none of those things.
It's fiendish.
So
I hate
three
it.
different types of damage here. Slashing, we got 7 slashing damage, 4 cold, and 14 thunder damage.
So what's the grand total?
11, 25 for that hit.
25.
What was it? Third level spell?
As the call of Osprey rings out across the land.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
That's an 18 or 19 to hit, I'm sorry.
19 will hit.
Let's put my level 4 spell slot to work. How does that sound, guys?
Sounds like you want to deal all the damage.
I do. Ooh, that's a good roll. Let's see, that's going to be 6 slashing, 6 cold. It's 12 plus 37. So
Yeah, that's overkill.
49.
The thing explodes, and the thunderous strike of your whip knocks as if this thing crumples to the ground in a pile of metal components, but the force of the blow throws them backwards, sending shrapnel in a cone out past you. And
Turn
now
to
we come off
Adrex.
some initiative.
Nice kick, Adrex.
So
That's only going to last a minute, by the way, so that thing might be coming back for us.
No, this thing rolled down a hill and into a ravine and over the river and through the woods. It's gone.
and he's
To
with
grandmother's
the
house they went.
he rolled onto the farm with the guy that we let get away.
It's like they're gonna take part in the plot of the Iron Giant.
It rolled up all of his fences and livestock and stuff and turned into Katamari Damacy.
Oh,
I mean, would it be covered in snow on the outside? Is it...
Let us speak no more of what happened to that poor man. So yeah, this battlefield is littered with metal components. And looking
Are
through
the
them,
arrows usable?
they're not, because they don't have fletching and they don't have an arrowhead. They're just basically a thin, solid but lightweight piece of metal with a very, very sharp end on it. The arrows seem to be in much better condition, and the javelins as well, and the spears that hit the ground as well, are in much better condition than the actual metal plates that made up the armor and the limbs and the shields of these creatures.
I mean,
Turn to Birdie. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, doesn't Adrex didn't he lose all his javelins?
Adrex
Recently?
didn't use any javelins.
I could have swore somebody lost both their javelins.
You guys replenished your arms in the mines last session.
Okay.
There was, yeah, you guys actually one of you hired a blacksmith to make some armor.
Yes.
So you could have
I did.
replenished your javelins and arrows and stuff there.
Or no, Adrex did. Yeah, Raazu will turn to Birdie, point at him, say, "Don't think I didn't forget about that that little episode you had right there at the beginning of that fight. But I think you diving into that thing, I think it's punishment enough."
Birdie says, right, okay, next time I'll let them shoot arrows at you. And he makes a jerk-off motion and turns around and walks off.
Raazu cracks her whip.
Wait, I
at him.
thought he only knew how to do that because of the spell.
I hate that Birdie could talk again.
Like he,
Adrex, make a perception check.
Goal. Goal for Adrex.
Coming
Yeah.
back and rejoining your companions.
Crowd goes wild cheering Adrex's name. Yeah. No, Adrex is in his own world.
Yep.
Adrex, can you come here for a second? Birdie, I need you. And Wendy picks up Birdie and puts him on Adrex's back. Because I was looking at those guys and I had an idea.
what, you just want to like make a harness for Adrex so that he could have a sneak attack on his back?
I'm just saying, you would always be within 5-foot range.
It wouldn't
I'm
see
gonna
you
say-
coming.
Adrex can carry Birdie in all his gear as long as he's not carrying any of his own gear.
No, this is a terrible idea. Birdie does not like it.
But look how tall you are, Birdie.
So what's next?
Adrex. There's no sports in the north.
Is
I
this
don't know
off in
why.
the distance? Is this actually off in the distance?
Is what off in the distance?
This structure.
Oh, shit.
This is one of those bizarre stone structures you guys have been seeing. It looks just like teeth jutting up out of the ground.
Suppose we could go and investigate.
Sorry,
it.
I was surprised by the fact they added new tabletop sim features. Now if you arrow somewhere that someone can't see you, it tells you.
It was that's been in there for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed it. It's rad.
Guess we could take a look at it.
And you guys have been passing these for the past several days. Every couple miles or so is one of these structures.
Do a
How about these stones over here? Are they there, or is that just...
So is this
No,
just
there's
like
no other road here.
is this just beaten down? Like it's not like paved road. It's just they just beat it down for marching.
It looks like stones have been strewn into the soil or the earth here and pressed down. And it's very muddy because it's been snowing pretty heavily the past few days and it's snowing lightly today. So you can see where the marching of this patrol has pressed all of this into the ground. And by the state of it, this particular path must have been in use for years and years and years. So it's not an actual built road, but it's kind of a de facto road just because the same feet have been trotting over it for so long.
Guys, we might want to be moving on because one of those dragonfly things was spying out for those soldiers, and I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah. I
Is
was
there,
thinking that too.
think it might follow us then.
Is this like permafrost? Are there multiple years of snow here?
No, you're not quite that far north yet.
Okay.
I guess we continue heading in the direction that we were heading before to go find this. I guess the Golden King is, I think, is what they called him. Or
Yes, another
Well,
day's
his soldiers
travel
don't seem very friendly.
will bring you to Wizard's Folly.
yeah, that's where we're headed.
As you get on into the evening, the first thing you notice is a lot more foliage, more trees, in spots on the ground where there is actual grasses. Even though there's still a nice layer of snow, something is keeping the foliage in this area as you continue to travel north, greener. The air doesn't get any warmer, but you notice the snowfall dies away to just a very light fall rather than the heavy winds that you've been facing the past couple of days of your march. You do also notice that even though it doesn't get any warmer or colder, the air retains its temperature. You do notice a fog creep in along the ground, maybe up to chest height, so well over Birdie's head. And it's not the cold mists like rolling in off of a lake. It's more just this opalescent mist that's hanging in the air that seems to swirl around you in part as you walk through it. And you catch shapes in it as you glance around. And you can't every time you try to focus on one of these shapes, it seems to evaporate back into the colors of the mists. Birdie, make a perception check.
Okay.
You're on in the evening now, so the sun is starting to set.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'll just roll again because that's a 1 and a 19, and I'll just. So that is a 23.
23?
Yeah.
You notice that some of the packs that you're carrying begin to emanate a dim light, a multicolored glow. I actually don't know who's carrying what, but after some investigation, you look into it, and any gemstones that you're carrying in your packs are giving off this beautiful glow of their inherent color. Just this natural bright light.
I think.
So who's actually carrying gemstones of any? I know a bunch of you have them.
I've got most of the gemstones.
Yeah, I think
I think Wendy has 1 gemstone, and Raazu has some gemstones as well.
Okay.
And that's it.
And it comes to the end of your marching day. Are we going to press on through the night or make camp?
Are there any restrictions on long rests during this travel? Like, do we need anything special to do that?
It's been difficult depending on the weather, but right now the weather is very mild. If you build a fire, you can have a nice, comfortable campsite. You just have to set up watch, and then if you get attacked in the middle of the night, it'll ruin your long rest. But that's up to the random encounter table, not up to me.
I mean, I'm all for just taking a rest. Like we just had a kind of tough fight that
I'm
was
down for it.
trivialized by a bubble.
Okay, are we having a fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
How would I
Raazu's
cook
before we start the long rest, Raazu's going to spend the rest of her lay on hands on herself to because she took a lot of beating during that fight.
Okay. Let's get a... Everybody can go ahead and take the benefits of the long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Providing everybody still has food.
Yes.
Yes,
We have.
Yes.
we did restock on provisions back at the mine.
Okay.
Let me just
And let's get a charisma saving throw from everybody.
hang on.
Is this against magic or a spell?
Very much, yes.
I'm guessing the same restriction that's been doing with the mummy rot thing. That nobody can gain the benefit from Raazu's proximity bonus.
Everybody can get the benefit of Raazu's proximity for this.
Plus 5,
30.
everybody. Charisma
I get a-
saving throw, you said?
Charisma saving throw.
21.
14
That's a
for
20.
Birdie.
Oh, 34, actually.
That's
with
a
Raazu.
31.
So, okay, one at a time. I got red 34. Birdie,
14.
Wendy,
31.
Raazu.
29.
Okay.
Adrex is 21.
Yeah, I got Adrex's already.
Okay.
Birdie.
He's excited.
You awaken, and you find that you're no longer laying next to your campfire. You awaken on this very soft, very comfortable, cushion-covered velvet sofa, and you hear the crackling of a fire nearby, and you look over where you fell asleep next to the fire last night and realize that your in a small but comfortable and well-furnished parlor. Next to you, in front of the velvet sofa that you wake up on, is a small table. And it has a bowl of delightful treats, whatever Birdie would consider to be a particularly wholesome snack. Which is what, like fish eyes, or what are we doing here?
No. Braised cat and quail eggs. There you go.
Then yeah, there's a nice spread of braised cat and quail eggs. I'm putting Adrex down for Turkish delight. Do I have that right? The table itself is sitting on this beautiful circular rug of the same color of this sofa. And looking at the sofa, you find it's difficult to tell what color it is. One moment it's this color, the next moment it's a different color. Beyond the table, it's maybe about 15 feet away from you, is a large stone fireplace with a brilliance colored fire crackling inside of it. It's not the mundane orange and red flames that you've made last night. This is definitely magical fire. That's not, even though it's blazing in this hearth, it's not giving off this intense heat. It just feels this very comfortable warmness. But you realize that only these three things are in evidence. Beyond that, like, you can't see the walls of the room. The room just kind of fades away into nothingness in all directions. And that's where you awaken.
Do we see each other?
It's only you.
Only me. Okay. I just assumed Adrex is there because you said Turkish delight.
If Adrex had rolled worse on his charisma save.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll just sit up. And so I'm in a room that just ends after...
At first glance, you thought it was a room, but now it just looks like this circular rug is sitting in this strange nether plane with the sofa on one side and the crackling hearth on the other.
And there's food. So, okay, well, like, I'll take a bit of cat and throw it into the abyss.
So you just throw it beyond the rug?
Yeah.
And it just kind of disappears as you throw it. You don't hear it land. But you do hear a voice speaking Draconic behind you that says, "If I had known you would throw away my gifts, I would not have provided them."
Birdie turns around very slowly.
And turning around, you see a tall, maybe 8 foot tall, very slender elven man dressed in beautiful finery, again, of all different colors that seem to shift and move. He has handsome features, long silvery hair that flows down over his shoulders and onto his back. He's giving you a polite smile, and his eyes, it's almost impossible not to fixate on them. And they are this burning with brilliant golden fire.
Birdie says, "Apologies, but I'm on a diet." And Birdie takes one large step backwards away from the man.
He says that if you wish to leave, I do give you leave to go. But I thought before you arrived at my house, I may as well know who my visitors are. But I will not stop you, and he motions behind you.
Birdie stops and says, "Forgive me, but I don't know who you are."
And he smiles a little sadly. And he says, "But I know much about you, for I have been watching you and yours for a very long time."
He goes, Birdie whispers, "You didn't answer my question."
He is too polite for Birdie.
Like, Birdie legitimately doesn't know how to treat this situation because, like, he's never had something this scary be this polite to him before. Birdie says, "Well, my name's Birdie, and you are?"
He tells you that he has the pleasure of being Breniar, the Great Glimmer, and that he is to understand that at long last you are coming to his house, though he summoned you a long time prior.
And Birdie points and says, "Are you the one that sent? What was the little girl's name?"
That's an excellent question, and I don't have that notepad file open right now.
Well, we'll just assume that I said her name
Okay.
and asked him like, are you the one that sent her down?
He says that depends on how you look at it.
Like Birdie says, "Well, I know that she went further than she was supposed to. Were you the one that sent her where she was supposed to go, but they didn't go?
This is
And went
the
too far
question
deep?"
You must ask yourself, little tunneler, is there really a her to have sent?
Birdie just gives his best Adrex impression look. He is totally lost now.
He says, there is much and more that you do not understand.
Stop picking your nose.
He was not picking his nose.
He says, in the coming days, as you travel through my realm, you may meet my followers and acolytes along the road. Do them no harm, and they will mean you none.
Are they the robots that tried to kill us?
He says he is to understand that you have slain a great number of them. The patrolmen have felled before the martial prowess of you and your companions.
Well, I mean, we didn't destroy them all. One of them went like we put him in a beat of force and kicked him. He's fine, right?
He says that you could not have known, but that was ill done, and perhaps you should make haste with some urgency. You have more enemies in these lands than you know. You will pass my words along to your companions when you wake.
Right.
The way he said that, it doesn't sound like he was asking a question. It sounded like he was giving you a command.
Okay.
And at that, he begins to back away off of the rug, and eventually you see him fade into the nothingness that surrounds you. And you become very, very drowsy all of a sudden.
Okay.
The next morning, let's get Constitution saving throws from Birdie, Red, and Adrex.
No Raazu bonus here.
No Raazu bonus. This is DC 16.
Birdie fails. Birdie's never going to pass this.
Nope.
Ever.
Birdie, reduce your max hit points by 9.
I got a 2.
You got a 2?
Yes.
You can reduce your
Adrex?
max hit points by 11. As you two are exhibiting the symptoms of mummy rot.
Don't forget Adrex.
Oh, you also failed?
Did you fail too?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Adrex,
15 points down already.
11 max hit points.
So,
As all three of you are exhibiting the symptoms of mummy rot. Which one of you actually wrote the letter to Captain Eyes? I had forgotten.
Red did.
Red did. Red, when you-
Raazu,
I wrote a coda.
Raazu what?
Raazu does her poultice things to stave off the disease.
Okay. Red,
Mm-hmm.
when you awaken, you find yourself clutching a scroll that looks identical to the one that you sent off to Captain Eyes.
Uh-huh.
And opening it up, it's written in two different hands. The first hand you recognize as Captain Eyes, having seen his ledgers before.
Mhm.
Essentially thanking you for sending him the rune, that it's been added to his repertoire, and he's going to begin... he's going to set his wizard, alchemist, and thaumaturge on researching it. As for your question about disease, he has consulted the ship's surgeon, and the rest of it is written in Yashnar's hand. And his hand is very curt, very to the point. And it says that he doesn't have any experience with this particular disease, fighting with the undead, but there are a litany of diseases that can affect a ship's crew, and that with a motley crew like Captain Eyes has, many different species are resistant to different styles of disease. And what he finds happens is when disease will flourish and ebb and flow on a ship repeatedly, though he thought he had wiped out all of those who were not immune to it, he finds it is useful to also treat those who are immune to it, who can frequently be carriers.
Yeah, that was stupid. But
And Yashnar
deserve
says
it.
that he hopes that the advice helps you. And then he signs off with a small and curt prayer to Osprey, wishing you well on your journeys.
I'll hand that
this is
to between Adrex and I'll pass the note between Adrex and
Yeah, Adrex, reading this note makes perfect sense. It's like, this is something you should have seen.
Raazu starts mixing up more of the shitty tea for both her and Wendy to drink.
Raazu and
Buddy,
Wendy are no longer diseased with mummy rot.
do you want to spend another
Is
5
this-
on the cat?
This is some sort of anti-vax. Make sure everyone is vaccinated appropriately.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's a herd mentality.
Hey,
I don't
Raazu.
know if this. I don't know
Herd
if this
mentality. That's what it
You
is.
can, if you can coax the cat to drink it,
Yeah.
be my guest.
Birdie
know
is like
what I-
waving his arms wildly.
The cat's not an issue. Don't worry about the cat. The cat is an item,
Okay.
not a creature.
Birdie is like shaking
Did you
his
say
arm.
Did you say the cat is an item, not a
He's
creature?
an object, not a creature.
I thought it was a
Okay.
curse.
Is he like so? God, my brain just went to the exit mouse in Earthbound.
But look, you have to admit that was a good use of that scroll.
So for a while, I was convinced that we were gonna open that up. The cat was gonna be a mummy and was giving us mummy rot.
We checked the cat like 3 different times.
Wendy
did.
and Raazu both failed the mummy rot saves repeatedly,
It's true, we did.
and they've just both been carrying it this whole time.
Okay, so guys, I had a dream, kind of dream thing, vision. Anyway, dude with scary eyes, kind of elvish, said that we need to get a leg on. And then like, Birdie's like gathering his stuff up, and then like walking off,
Are you scared of your dreams now?
like, and then
Didn't feel
He's
like
scared
a
of
dream
a lot
to
of
you.
things.
It didn't feel like you were dreaming. You remember it vividly, every
I know.
detail.
that's why I changed my wording to vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like,
It's still not going
Like-
to means Adrex.
like
It didn't feel like a vision either. It felt like you were there. It felt like you were awake and alert for the full time.
oh well, I mean, Birdie's just yammering on about like what happened on the dream as he's packing up, and then he starts walking away. He doesn't even wait for nobody.
Okay, and you guys.
Ajax, I think it's some magic bullshit.
Yeah, magic bullshit is usually
Oh.
a thing that we have, so the thing we deal with. So let's go ahead and deal with the magic bullshit.
He also said don't kill anybody, so that's going to be very difficult. But I think we're doomed.
Did he say they wouldn't try to kill us?
No, he didn't. He didn't say
Well,
that. I very
I got some
specifically
bad news
asked.
for him then.
I very specifically asked that and received no answer.
And who is this?
I forget his name.
Great Glimmer, I believe.
The
yeah?
Great Glimmer. It was the Great Glimmer.
Oh.
So these robots and the little bug things, the little mechanical bug things, those are his things?
It didn't sound like they were his things. He made it sound like they belong to somebody else who means us harm, and now they're after us. That's the impression I got.
Well, I've got some bad news for him.
Whatever
Which
it
is
is,
that
we'll
if
kill
someone
it.
shoots an
It'll
arrow
be
at
fine.
me.
We tried to talk to them.
And they didn't seem very receptive, so I think in the future we should probably avoid those patrols if we can.
You guys don't come across another patrol of that nature. And you don't see another road like that either. As you travel through most of the mid-morning is very... almost I don't want to say boring, just uneventful march. Because it seems like every few moments there's new sights and sounds around you. Like the world is coming alive. Like you're leaving behind the winter wastelands. You don't see any more of these strange jutting rocks. You see more and more copses of healthy trees. You come across unfrozen brooks and streams with clear, fresh water. You see flowers for the first time in weeks. You hear the sounds of birds and insects periodically, and you do come across a patrol of sorts. 4 armored men, large and bulky. You see them from a great distance off, that seem to be almost leisurely standing their posts at a small guard tower off in the distance. And if you maintain the pace you're on now, you will pass right by this guard tower. However, nothing seems to be keeping you pointed this direction. You have the opportunity to move around it if you so choose.
I mean, can they not see us?
You're still pretty far off from there. You spotted this guard tower a ways off.
Think we should wave a flag of parley?
I think we should just wave at them as we walk by and not say anything. Or go around, one of the two. We can just pretend like we belong here, and that seems to work for like most of the time, right?
So we're gonna march by the tower, or try to go around it. Going around it was gonna make your journey longer.
The fellow in Birdie's vision told us to make haste, so we should probably take the shortest path.
Oh, you know what Birdie also says? He says, also, Wendy, like, this guy made it sound like that the little girl wasn't real.
Well, I've got some very real bones.
So marching by the tower or going around it?
Marching by it.
Okay. As you come up towards the tower, 4 of these large men that you now recognize as bearfolk, armored in plate, each one holding a shield and a pike. And on the shield is emblazoned in gold a heart burning in fire. Like a heart shape, not like an actual human heart with valves and ventricles and stuff.
That'd be metal, is what that would be.
Be pretty good. And they step out in front of you to bar your passage. 3 of them do. The 4th one moves towards you. And as you come into range, he lowers his pike and yells at you to halt, speaking in your common tongue.
Do so.
And he calls out that you've entered the lands of the Great Glimmer. He says you should declare yourselves.
Raazu, champion of Ostrom. Nod to the rest of the companions, introduce them in turn.
Birdie the Magnificent.
Red.
Raazu does not say Birdie the Magnificent.
The pattern which is formed as the wind flows over the sands.
Hi, I'm Adrex.
Just let's be clear, Birdie did introduce himself as such.
Is Adrex the Daisy of this universe?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's what I was going for. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Adrian doesn't have a
Kind of
bearfolk
is, isn't he?
or an umbrella. So the bearfolk who's addressing you turns to Raazu. Says, "And are you the captain? Are you the captain of this?" And he doesn't seem to be that impressed with your ragtag group marching the lands. Group is the word he decides on.
I'm the closest thing we have to a military expert, so maybe?
And he asks what business you have in the lands of the Great Glimmer. And he's addressing you specifically now, Raazu.
God, it's been like 3 weeks since we
just got an invitation. Like,
yeah, but I'm trying to remember why we were originally coming here, and it's not coming up.
To investigate the Lord of Blades sending metal men down into the world.
That's right. We were coming up here from the lands to the south to investigate the appearances of metal men in the lands to the south of here. And we thought that Wizard's Folly might have been involved in such in these incidents.
And he scoffs. And he says that only dense-headed Southlings would refer to the Great Glimmer's lands as the Wizard's Folly. He asks if it was your company that dispatched the patrolmen on the road. A day now passed.
We did.
He asks what cause you have to bring war to the patrolmen.
I offered them parley. They we were met with violence. We were forced to defend ourselves.
He says, would that you had the wisdom to know to give these patrolmen a wide berth. Let them march past and go around them.
And we know that now.
So your
Should put up a sign.
Your ignorance has caused us more trouble than you know. His Majesty will not be happy. He then turns to Birdie, who's glowing very brightly, carrying all these gemstones. Says, the little one there, is he carrying His Majesty's tribute?
Raazu elbows Birdie.
Birdie just looks left and looks right and looks down and he shrugs. I don't know. He goes, he did invite us over. He came to me in a dream. I don't know if it was a dream. More of a vision. He offered me braised cat and quail eggs.
He looks to Raazu. Says, your soldiers deserves a clout for speaking such insolence.
Birdie starts describing like the couch and then the carpet, and then he describes the Great Glimmer himself and the way he looks.
And Raazu, as he's doing this bear man is having none of it. He's waiting for you to shut him up.
Raazu shoves Birdie back behind her and says, "Forgive me. He's the one who received the Glimmer's invitation."
And he nods. He says, if you come to offer His Majesty tribute, I will accept it graciously in his name. If you do not, we will escort you to his borders.
Raazu sighs. Says, the last time this happened...
The second one.
Yes.
Well, he's saying he's going to escort you out to the borders of the realm.
So what this guy's saying, Birdie says out loud, looking at Raazu, is that he's going to kick out somebody that his liege is expecting because he wants to accept it. It sounds like he wants to accept.
Birdie, turn out your pockets.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like this dude thinks he's above the Great Glimmer. That's what it sounds like to me.
The Great
That's
Gilgamesh.
what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me.
So you guys are discussing whether or not he is above the Great Glimmer?
Yeah.
Raazu is looking very upset at this.
And he said, he's looking at Raazu, and Raazu, you can tell, being in military structure for the better part of your life, reading this man's face as the visor on his helm is lifted. Even though he's a bear, bears can be very expressive, as we all learned from Mahogany. You can tell that he's quickly losing patience in your inability to keep your group under control. And he booms out and says, there need not be any bloodshed here, but we will not suffer insolence or insults to His Majesty.
Raazu turns to Birdie and Windy and shouts, "That's it, that's it. Knock it off. Birdie, turn out your pockets."
Like all of my pockets? Because it's gonna take a minute. Birdie starts digging through his pockets and he's throwing out gold coins.
Birdie, the glowy ones. The glowy ones.
Oh.
Yeah, Ren will stop Birdie from doing that, and we'll fetch the root pockets and pouch and whatnot, and place them in a nice, neat pile.
Yeah, okay. That works. That works for Birdie.
The captain turns and nods to one of the other men standing behind him. And he raises his pike to attention and hefts his shield and comes up and looks at the little pile of gems that you've created. And he stoops down and he selects one of the smaller ones. What is the least valuable gemstone that you've placed? in this
10
pile?
GP. There's 11 10 GP stones, 5, 25, and 2, 50.
Okay. He selects one of the 10 GP stones, picks it up, walks it back over to his captain, hands it off. His captain takes it, nods, and seems satisfied. When he does, the three men take a big step back towards the tower, still with their pikes at attention. The captain tells you then, go in peace and do no harm in these lands. And he too steps aside.
Very well.
Is there anything else you'd be annoyed with our ignorance for not knowing? We'd rather not piss anyone else off.
They don't respond to Wendy's bizarre
I'm
comment.
gonna assume there's nothing else then.
Raazu sighs, and once we're out of earshot, she says, if we run into any more of those bearmen, I think I should do the talking.
Whatever, they suck.
Birdie says, I will never shut up ever again.
Also, I mean, they
Raazu
just got
brandishes
annoyed at
her
us for
whip.
not knowing something they didn't tell us, so...
Exactly.
Raazu brandishes her whip at Birdie again.
Raazu, the next time you whip Birdie, I'm whipping you.
I'd like to see that.
I mean, everybody's got a whip. It's not an empty threat.
Mexican standoff.
Oh, a whip.
I don't have a whip either.
Can you sneak attack with a whip?
Yes.
Oh,
Light weapon.
You just need the proficiency, which
Yeah, that's right.
rogues don't
Yeah.
get.
we should take a level of fighter just so we can all have whiffs.
Take 3 levels of Tensei Monk.
Oh. Why not? I'll do it if you do it.
Why don't you take ranger and I'll take fighter?
Yeah, okay. If you do it, I'll do it.
.com.
I'm assuming our walk up is uneventful.
It's not. You come across several more of these guards towers, each manned in a similar fashion. This time, however, as they greet you, they acknowledge that you've already paid tribute. And they do not obstruct
Word
your
travels
path.
fast. Word travels fast in these lands, apparently.
I mean,
There's not
Birdie
a lot
said-
going on.
Birdie says, you know... Go ahead.
I'm reminded of Kan Zhao's realm in that regard.
Birdie gives a harumph and says, well, if I had known they weren't just fishing for a bribe, I would have given it to him.
I don't think it was a bribe.
I don't know, we gave them money in order to get through into a place we were already invited. I think it was a bribe.
Like, I thought the guard himself was fishing for a bribe.
No. I don't
Is this
think
a
that was it
discussion
at
you're
all.
having with other guardsmen you come across?
No, this is just discussion I'm having with Raazu to try and bend my
Once
action.
they're out of earshot, then yes, we start talking again.
Do you think that they actually... Wait, because this could be important for us to know. Do you think they actually have a way of communicating with each other quickly? Or do you think it's just that they're assuming that we've paid because we're here?
It could be either, honestly, because we're deeper into the Great Glimmer's lands, so they must they either assume it, or I think the more likely is they have some other means of communicating between outposts.
Maybe we should ask.
Hey, let's just ask. Or
Magic shit.
let's
I mean,
just say
magic shit
Red's
is
the
always a
leader.
thing.
And then if they seem upset by that idea, we'll know they can talk.
So you approach one of these guard towers and tell them Red's your leader?
We're passing by them, right?
Sure.
Periodically. A couple times over
Yeah.
the course of the day.
This is a
You-
wild science experiment.
Introduce Red as one of your leaders.
Uh-huh.
And the guardsmen you're talking to, again, these large bearmen in this immaculate armor, the shield emblazoned with the burning heart. Exchanges glances with his other guardsmen. He says, my apologies, he says to Red. We were led to believe that the Hobgoblin was your leader. Captain, I believe she introduced herself as.
It's no problem.
And then he asked what he can do for you.
We were wondering, what the specifics of tribute the Great Glimmer typically requires of people passing through their lands. If we were to come back through here again, would it be appropriate to offer more tribute?
He says he doesn't understand. He was also led to believe that you had already offered tribute.
Exactly. So my question is, if we pass through these lands and then go somewhere else and then return, should we make an effort to get more suitable tribute before we come back? Or is the tribute we've already given sufficient for the time being?
He says that will depend on a great many factors, but as for he and his, they will follow His Majesty's orders.
Thank you.
Cool emblem.
And the three bear men behind them all heft their shields proudly, as you point that out.
Could you describe it to me, Adrex?
The burning heart.
That's someone else.
Birdie grabs
that's-
Wendy's palm and draws it with his fingers, like a heart like
No,
this.
Yes, a heart. Yeah, no, I get it. All right, thanks, guys.
On in the afternoon, you realize that you're marching more and more uphill until you start seeing a lone mountain peak climbing up the horizon. And as you get closer still, not particularly tall mountain, it's just the largest hill essentially in the area. It wouldn't be very difficult to climb. But as you get closer, you see that on the peak of this hill there's a large rocky crag going up the western side of it. On the eastern side, where it's flatter, there are two large ruined stone towers standing.
It just occurs to me that we don't actually know why this place is called Wizard's Folly, and it's probably not for a good reason.
It's called Wizard's Folly because way back in antiquity, some sort of evil magic-using wizard triggered a cataclysm that caused these entire lands to become wastes. This is a story that's been passed down for generations and generations and generations amongst all of your tribes. So all of you know of Wizard's Folly, but only stories stretching back out through thousands of years of ancestry. And probably different variations depending on where you're from.
Right. For example, Birdie's just says gnomes did it.
Possible.
Would Adrex have insider knowledge about Wizard Folly?
Adrex has never been to this area before.
Neat.
Adrex is from much further north and west of here.
From
Gotcha.
from Mundo.
Adrex probably was always told that a great evil destructive force lived here. Essentially. To not travel these lands, etc., etc. Getting to the base of the hill,
All right.
you meet up with there's a large gate. The wall surrounding this hill is, first of all, not very tall, only 6 feet tall or so, and second of all, it's not solid. It's not made up of stone, just this crisscrossing wire mesh holding itself in place with strands of gold and silver and other colors of metal. A large 12-foot tall gate, not really a gate, just an entryway, where these metal bands reach up and meet in an archway overhead, at the apex of which is a large circular plate emblazoned with the burning heart. Quote unquote, guarding this entryway are a pair of children. And as you see them in front of you see them before they see you. They're playing with some kind of flying creature